Hey Hayley, how you going?
Good, thank you, Jamie.
Thank you for joining me here at the Hilton Hotel.
No worries.
In Vegas. Yes, if you don't know where Vegas is, it's called Brisbane. And you're a Brisbaneite?
I am, yes.
You are?
Well, I have been now for 12 years.
Okay, wow. Oh. So where were you before then?
I was northern New South Wales, small country town.
Small. What's the name of the town?
McLean.
McLean. Never heard of it.
No one else.
Sounds very famous though. Hey, let's have a chat about your journey. Obviously now you are very successful in what you do, and you've had a journey. So exactly what do you do right now? A brief, what do you do right now?
Very quickly. So I wear a few hats at the moment. I run my boutique PT studio.
So you have a face-to-face studio.
I do. I have a face-to-face studio.
What's that called?
Empowered for Life.
Powered for Life. Fantastic. And you used to train people?
Sorry?
You train people?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's where I get my energy from.
Yeah,
It's from
other
the
people.
that I work with. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And you've got some other stuff going on too.
I do, yes. I'm currently building an online program as well that is able to reflect all the work that I do in my physical gym, because I'm also a nutrition coach and a mindset coach, so being able to bring all of those things together and put it into one platform online is a really exciting project for me at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool. Lots of work, but I'm enjoying it.
But it's your work, it's your creation.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
it is very exciting.
Okay, so let's rewind back to the old Hayley. Before you were a fitness professional, what were you doing?
I was 30 kilos overweight.
Okay.
I was a full-time stay-at-home mum. I had extremely bad depression, and I was not happy.
So was the weight a symptom of your feeling and not being happy and having depression? Or?
It was.
Tell us a bit more about that, because obviously I've never had that, so I'd like to know a bit more about it.
The weight was my strategy. I wanted to hide. I had no self-confidence. I was very scared. And I hid inside my body fat. So it was my shield. It was my protection.
Wow. And do you find that is a common thing with, and now you're a fitness specialist and you've been there, do you find that's a common thing with some of your clients?
Absolutely. They don't realise it at the time, but it is a symptom of what they're experiencing on the inside.
Okay. So and to transition from that to say, hey, I want to become a fitness professional. A personal trainer. That's a big change.
It
You're
is.
certainly not that person now.
No, I'm not that person now, and I'm very, very glad for the journey that I've had. So I hit a place that I thought was rock bottom, and that sent me into a gym and just asking the gym instructor there, what do you think I should do? And she told me I should eat 1,200 calories a day and do 2 hours of cardio a day, and I'll lose weight. I did that really well.
That will work.
It worked. So I dropped 30 kilos in 6 months.
And you did that every day?
Every day. That's what she told me to do.
So what was the trigger point that said, enough is enough, I'm going to make a change?
Well, when I lost all of that weight, that was where I found rock bottom truly existed. Because when you take your body from fat to skinny and you just starve yourself there and you just flog yourself fit and you think that's how you're going to get there, unfortunately it's not.
So rock bottom was after you've lost the weight?
It was after I lost the weight.
That's amazing. So let's go to the trigger that made you want to lose the weight. Something must have triggered you to say, look, that's it.
To lose the weight?
Yeah.
That was just looking at my kids. They deserved better. They absolutely deserved
Was there a
better.
moment in time that you remember where you said, that's it, I've had enough?
Yeah, it was a day, it's not easy to talk about.
Yeah.
It was a day when I was considering taking my own life, and I looked at my kids and realised that if I achieved that goal, then they would be at home alone in my house without their father for a few hours, with their mother laying on the floor. And that was the moment that I went, wow.
That's
they
some dark
deserve better.
thinking, isn't it?
That's very dark thinking.
Wow. So, but you took positive action.
I did the reverse.
You did the opposite.
Well, in some sense as well, I did die that day because a new me was reborn on that day.
Yeah.
So I killed that demon.
So you lost the 30 kilos by doing 1,200 calorie a day diet, working out 2 hours a day, and that will work.
It works.
I don't know if that's a good long-term strategy.
No.
But it certainly works, as you know. But then you found a new rock bottom, so tell me about that.
Yeah, well, after 6 months of doing that to my body, just eating whatever but sticking to 1,200 calories and 2 hours of cardio a day, rock bottom was absolutely there because my body was more weak than it had ever been before. I was more unhealthy. I'd done more damage to my body in that process than being overweight had actually done.
Well, you weren't short of nutrition when you were overweight, were you?
No.
You're over-nutrition. You have too many vitamins, minerals, and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Some people would argue.
Absolutely.
But now you're deficient in health.
Absolutely, yeah. So skinny doesn't mean healthy.
You had enough health for 4 people before.
I did.
You were eating for 4, but now you had enough nutrition for half a person. Okay, so
One extreme to the next.
so you lost the weight, and how did you feel when you lost the weight?
Well, I thought I'd feel proud and I thought I'd be happy, but I was so sick, and I'd done so much damage to my body by doing the wrong kind of exercises and with the wrong strategies, that I went, wow, I've spent 6 months doing this to myself.
Destroying my body.
Destroying my body, yeah. And I got really angry, I suppose. I got really pissed off.
Yeah, I think they call that hangry now.
I probably was hangry, yeah. Yeah.
You know, I remember mentioning in conversation the other day, and it's controversial, and some people might get upset by it. I'll say it anyway. But I thought, when you get people who really strip themselves down to being ripped, like the physique type people, right? And then you have some the opposite of that, people are really overweight, and obviously they're polar ends of the scale, right? And I thought, well, they both are controlled by food. Right? But I thought, at least the overweight people enjoy their dinner.
Exactly.
But these people, they look at dinner and they're counting calories, so they never actually enjoy.
No.
You know, I guess the art is be able to have a healthy body and enjoy your food.
Absolutely.
So, what was the point again that you thought, well, this is not the long-term solution for me?
Yeah, well, I think, I realised that my body wasn't going to be able to cope with this. And again, I looked at my kids. I thought, well, I don't want them to use this strategy when they're my age. So I thought, well, I need to find someone who can teach me how to do this correctly. And I don't want any other woman to ever experience what I've gone through. Invest 6 months in trying to regain your health and do the opposite.
Yeah.
That was when Empowered for Life became a vision.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had that vision before you actually started to go through a course, for example?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you thought, was the thought that I want to go and help other people?
Yes.
But at that time, you're still working out how to help yourself.
Absolutely. I had to teach myself. I had to educate myself, and then have a way that I could share that with other people.
So what was the thought
time.
about, okay, most people are self-serving in a way, I just want to help myself, they don't think about anyone else, but you're actually straight away thinking, I've got to fix myself, but you're already thinking about helping others.
Yeah, well, every day that I went to the gym, I was in the room full of 45 other women who were all doing the same exercises, all listening to the same people doing the same thing, and probably all landing themselves in the same position that I was in. So
For the ones who stuck to it.
Yes, if they managed to stick to it.
So obviously you showed a lot of discipline to stick for 6 months. Most people last to Monday to Wednesday, so I'll start next Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thought was, okay, I wanted to go and help others, and that's obviously when you started thinking about an option of being a professional trainer.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
so,
absolutely.
So take us through that process.
So that started with me starting to just do a bit of my own research, and then realising that, I actually would like to make this a career. I want to be able to help people.
And at the time you were a full-time house mum.
Full-time house mum, yeah.
Which is a hugely responsible job.
Yes.
And for men would never understand, I understand that. But now you wanted to go and do something for you.
Yes.
Which is very special.
It is very special. Yeah, it was very difficult too. It came with a lot of pushback from our families.
Yeah.
My husband has always supported me 100%, but greater than that, into the extended family, there was a lot of...
Funny how everyone thinks they know the best for other people.
Oh, absolutely.
So that were your family pushing back. In what way? What were they? Did you share with them what you wanted to do, and they pushed back and share a bit of that? Because there's a lot of people don't do what they want to do because other people are telling them not to do. Criticise them. So tell us about that.
Well, we had one family member say that, he told my husband directly that I shouldn't be out doing these things. I should literally be in the kitchen at home. We had another...
He's a modern guy.
We had another family member tell me that I'll never make any money, and then I would have to go to work to pay back the money that I owe.
Because she was a successful trainer herself?
No. And it was just, why would you be doing that? Why would you put your kids into daycare when you can be raising them yourself? We had a comfortable life, but my life had a greater calling, and I needed to pursue.
But share with me, and correct me if I'm wrong, you have a comfortable life, but you were hangry, and you were depressed first, and you went to hangry.
Yeah,
So,
it certainly wasn't fulfilled.
comfortably depressed and hangry.
Yeah.
That's comfortable.
Yeah.
So what gave you the strength not to listen to that pushback from
It was
to a
just
circle.
my inner drive was just so strong. Yeah, there was nothing that was going to stop me. Nothing, and nothing has stopped me. I'm
That's
still
very,
going.
very cool. So then you chose to come to Max.
I did.
So smile. So what made you choose Max?
Well, because I knew from the start this was going to become my career, I looked at so many different fitness colleges online, and it needed to tick the boxes of being a fantastic fitness college, but it also needed to give me the skills to be a businesswoman. Because at the end of the day, I was like, okay, I'm going to create this fitness business, but that means I need to be a businesswoman. And I didn't have those skills. So I can remember it was 2 o'clock in the morning when I finally found the Max website, because I was just going through them all. And I was reading through the website, and I emailed G, and I was just like, I think you guys are it. This is where I need to be, because it came with the business strategies as well as the fitness side of things. So that was really important to me from the start.
Well, that's reassuring, because you are exactly the type of person that we love to work with. Because everyone has their own goals as a trainer, and we love to work with people who want to be they're not a fitness person, they're actually a business person in the fitness profession.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So you came to Max, and how did you find the journey with Max?
I loved it. Yeah. So I had actually already done my Cert 3 through another company, and I was very happy then to be able to do that again through Max. And I had the pleasure of working with some of the great coaches that Max has had over the years, and that was a wonderful experience. And even though my physical shape had changed, my mental and emotional shape hadn't changed. So I was still a very scared little girl when I entered Max, very much so.
Good.
And being pushed to be better, to
Mentally.
be bigger, yeah. Max was wonderful for that.
So how are some of the ways that Max pushed you to grow yourself mentally?
I had to stand up and be seen.
Yeah.
I couldn't just sit in the back of the room and hide. And I suppose that is different these days, but well, it challenged me. Obviously, I had to learn a lot, which was fantastic. But when it came to talking to people, to asking the W questions and things like to push to dig deeper with other people, I didn't have the courage to do that before. So, and I certainly didn't have the courage to do that for myself. So, going through those processes, and I think the demand of Max that you need to be able to do this 100% was like, at first it was confronting, but it made me go so much harder, because I never just did anything to 80% or 60% or 50%. I always went 100% with everything. And Max taught me that I was able to do that.
Imagine if you were Olympic running and you only ran 80% of the marathon course.
You'd never be the Olympic runner, would you?
I ran 80% of it.
Yeah.
No, it's 100%. I always say, people say, do you have to get 100%? I says, okay, well, yes. So what part of anatomy don't you think is important to know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you finished Maxed. Then what did you venture into then?
So that was Empowered for Life. That was, I took on a commercial lease and opened up my...
Straight up?
Straight up.
You're straight into it.
I just jumped straight in.
Give me a commercial lease, I'm going to start.
And again, that was with the loving support of my husband.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's great with spreadsheets. I'm not. But we looked at it all, and we sort of... What it came down to at the end of the day is that if I had to carry this commercial lease on my own back for the next 3 years, which was our minimum agreement, then if I could make 100 grand in that 3 years, we're okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, 100 grand in 3 years, that's quite achievable. Like, yeah. So we did it, we jumped in. And
Well done.
Thank you.
Hey, I relate. I remember my first commercial lease. Back in those days, it was $10,000 a year.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, what's the worst case scenario? Worst case scenario, I have to come up myself with $10,000 a year.
Yes.
I had 6 trainers.
Yeah.
Says, geez, $10,000 a year, well, that's only $200 a week.
Yeah.
And back then I was charging $50 a session. So I just have to train 4 people to pay the rent. That's the worst case scenario, and I'm stuck for that for a 2-year lease.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes a great to approach is, what's the worst case scenario?
Absolutely.
Can I
Can I
handle it?
live with the worst case scenario?
And if the case is yes, then everything above that is cherries on top.
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
So
that's
when in your commercial lease, you was a sole trainer, yeah, and tell me what you did there and how you grew it.
That was... So I did stay in that lease for 3 years,
Yeah.
and it was fantastic. I did have some challenges though. There was a few people who had said that they wanted to come and train with me that it didn't end up working out that way. I put other trainers on that just didn't fit my what I was trying to achieve. I became very specialised in women's fitness and wellbeing, and that was really important to me to hold that frame for women. So my studio became my heart space, and it was a safe place for people to walk into. So the challenge, in the end, I just decided I will just do this on my own, which was a huge decision.
Specialise and not have to worry about managing people.
Because the few times I had to manage people, it just...
And that is a decision that some trainers have to make, is that, you know, when you bring on trainers, it sounds really sexy.
Yeah.
But actually, managing people is one of the hardest things to do.
It is.
So you either manage yourself and charge higher price, or bring other people and you get a different type of hassle.
Yes.
So you decided to go solo.
I did. I decided to go solo, and that worked so well because the people who wanted to train at EFL wanted to train with me because I am EFL. I was the brand anyway. So even if I said I had this other trainer here, they wanted to be with me anyway. So I did.
And you built that. How many clients did you get up to?
Can't remember now. I've had well and truly, I think at one point I had up to 75 clients. And I was doing both a semi-PT setting and a one-on-one PT setting. So for the mothers who brought their babies along, we had the creche, then I would work with up to 6 mothers, which is a max. And then the other sessions would be one-on-one, and sort of we didn't have to worry about the creche.
And what were you charging for a one-on-one session?
$87.
$87.
So I wasn't marketing myself out of my...
Well, you specialised, right?
I was specialised. I work with mothers, so they were one income family at the time, but also women who often were career driven anyway and were going to be going back to work. So that was sort of where I was focusing.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So tell me about the transition from there. First of all, before we even go any further, what were the pushback people saying now?
Well, actually, the one who told me I'd never make any money and I'd have to get a job to pay back what I owed came to our 1-year anniversary party and cried. Wow. Because the people that were at that 1-year anniversary party, who were so touched and so happy to be a part of the community that I had created, impacted them so much. Wow. So at the end of the day, the money didn't matter. It was the impact.
So here's a side point, and we probably don't really know the answer, but I like to guess sometimes, and most of the time I'm wrong. Why do you think that people push back on other people's dreams?
Because they don't have a dream themselves. Because to meet someone who has a dream when you're someone who is stuck within yourself is a very confronting thing. This is my belief, and this is the way I see it, because I used to be that person. I used to be the person who probably looked like a stuck-up sort of bitch because I held back, when really I could have just gone up and said, "Hi, you're really fascinating. I want to know what it is about you." But instead I got scared by people who had a bigger dream, who didn't think inwards but thought outwards and could see a greater vision. And I think that when you are on the flip side of that, it's just scary and confronting, and so you're just going to push back.
Criticise, push back.
Judge and try.
Well, we have, in the old camper climber pull story, they're the pullers, aren't they? Because they're jealous of the climbers.
Absolutely.
So rather than climb, pull other people down.
I can't do that, so why should you be able to do that?
Yeah.
The mindset.
There's many words you can use to describe that. And I won't use any of them on there.
Fair enough.
But sometimes, the people up there, if they say don't to do it, that's probably the reason to do it, because that's the right thing to do, because they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be where they are.
No. That's
okay.
Exactly the motivation.
So obviously your business is now transitioning. So tell us more about that transitioning into other areas.
Yeah. So
the online space.
The online space. Yeah. So one of our goals, our first goals when we first opened EFL, was that I could pay for a house cleaner to come once a week. 2 little kids. If I wasn't working, I wanted to spend it with them, and I wanted to be able to pay for weekends away with my husband. That was really, at the end of the day, that would be the things that would make this amazing for me. And we got to the point where I was easily making the money, but I didn't have the time anymore. Okay. So I could afford the weekends. So it flipped into this other balance. Like, okay, we're making great money, but we don't have the family time anymore. So we decided that as the lease was coming to an end, we sold our old home. We let the lease go, and we purchased a property where I could manage household and business.
So your business is now at home?
Yeah, it's off to the side
How
of the
cool
property.
Is that?
It is really cool. Yeah. So now we're able to get that balance.
Now it's a lifestyle, isn't it?
It is a lifestyle. I walk my kids to school every day, and I pick them up from school every day. They don't go to daycare anymore. The only day they go to after school care is because they want to, because they get to play. So it went from being make lots of money, but it was stressful for me as a mother, and we didn't have family time, to now making a decent amount of money and having the lifestyle that, like, I just flew home from 2 weeks away, but in Canada and LA, just having a wonderful time with a girlfriend, but coming home was more exciting to me because I lived the life of my dreams every day. So that was a wonderful thing. And then once I'd released the burden of having rent and all those other things, and suddenly we were living this great lifestyle, I was able to think of more.
Well, everything you earn is in your pocket now, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's going back into our own mortgage, and it just freed up my mind space to go, well, okay, well, how can I help more people now? I've got more time for myself, I've got more time for my family, how can I help more people then? And that's where transitioning into online is now going.
Okay, so tell us about your new online venture.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
Because I was on Facebook and I saw this thing come up. I went, wow, that's good. And I said, that's Hayley.
Yeah.
So tell us more about that.
So my online venture, it's called Love Yourself Healthy. Love Yourself Healthy. I haven't branded it with Empowered for Life for the reason that it is going to be completely online. So it is a separate business, a separate entity as such. And what it's going to do is incorporate everything I've done in the physical business, so all of my specific training for postnatal and prenatal training for women and things like that, also my nutrition coaching and my mindset coaching. So it's going to bring everything together into a structured program, whereas as you know, Kayman, when you're working one-on-one with a person, it flows how they need it to.
Yeah.
So I had to work out, how can I put this into an online program where it will still provide the same amount of value, but it's going to have a structure to it.
Yeah.
So that's where it's very different to Empowered for Life.
Well, I guess after you have delivered many thousands of training sessions and nutritional consultations, there will be a common theme in how most of them go.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Where you will probably get a structure that will satisfy 80%.
Yes.
And the other 20%, they're going to be individual anyway.
Absolutely. And then there's always the option for them to do individual coaching calls and things like that. So it's
exactly.
Not, yeah.
Plus that 80%, instead of being face-to-face, you now have 6 billion people in the world.
Yes.
You know, rather than your local, now you've got global.
And the wonderful thing about an online program, and this was the lady who I went to learn how to do videoing and all of that sort of thing, is she said that people will be training with you while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a really good point. And there's also an insurance policy. So if anything ever happens to me, Empowered for Life will no longer exist. Craig won't be able to make money from Empowered for Life anymore. But if I have this online program, if something happens to me, Craig and the girls will be able to continue to sell that and use that long after I'm gone.
Well, you're actually building an asset that builds
Absolutely.
passive income.
Yes.
Because there's going to be people watching. Hello. And the year now is 2017.
Yes.
They could be in the year 2025.
Absolutely.
Because now we've captured it. Now it can be useful for, like any program, for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
So, have you got an idea of the packages you're going to be offering on that? Or what is it? If I'm, obviously, or I hate to say obviously, but is your target market women still?
It is still women,
Yeah.
yes. And just simply because I think it's always worked so well for me. Men will obviously be welcome.
And you're well qualified as a woman.
I'm well qualified as a woman.
with an amazing journey from depressed, overweight, to thin and hangry, to now healthy and positive.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Isn't that a nice transition?
It's a beautiful transition.
Isn't it?
And I'm
Yeah.
grateful for every step of it. Yeah.
Well, I guess that gives you the ability to connect and show empathy with the people that you're working with, because you've been there in your own unique way. I understand everyone's different how they feel. So what's the future hold for you?
The future, my focus really at the moment is on Love Yourself Healthy, but part of the online program being Love Yourself Healthy is I'm going to be travelling to do the workshops. So I would love to travel to Canada to do Love Yourself Healthy workshops with my ladies that are going to be over there. I would love to start travelling the world.
Is there something about Canada?
I just it's where I always wanted to go,
and
I've just been, so I'm very...
And they have a very similar mindset to the Australians too.
Oh, they did. They were so active. So active. It was amazing. I loved it. Everywhere you went, there was people being active, which was beautiful. And just that element of health that just resonates through, and I think the fresh air. And so I would gladly be in Canada.
So I guess, without taking words from your mouth, you want to build a clientele on Love Yourself Healthy in certain countries and be able to travel those countries
Yes.
And you run workshops.
Yes.
Very cool. So you need to do some active marketing in Canada.
Yes, that will absolutely be happening.
Well, you could say love yourself healthy Canada, love yourself healthy, and just put the countries you want to visit.
Mm.
And the countries you don't want to visit, you want to say love your healthy, not Syria. Seriously, not Syria.
Not Syria.
Not that there are people who need help there, but in a different way.
Mm.
Very, very true.
Mm.
So, what would be the difference between Hayley pre to Hayley now? If you had to wrap up the difference between who you are now versus who you were when you were that overweight, depressed person.
I love myself.
Mm.
And I loved myself healthy to get here.
And that's why you came up with that.
That's where it came from.
Love yourself healthy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And what is it about being a personal trainer, fitness professional, a nutritional coach, a life coach, a counsellor, all those things you have there? What is it about that you love so much about it?
It's seeing that transformation in other people. It absolutely is. It's when, like all day, every day, it's amazing. I'll just receive text messages or Facebook messages or whatever from people saying, I saw you post on Facebook and it made me do this. Or I thought of that thing you told me in the gym the other day and it's made me do this. And just seeing people transition and fulfill their own vision of what vitality is in their own life, that is an amazing gift to be able to share. And that far outweighs any financial benefit from doing this. It's absolutely the loving connections that I build and the lives that I get to impact. And I was doing some writing on my vision today, and I summed it up in that there's a child who will be born in 3 generations' time, who at this point in time, their future looks very bleak. But I'm going to be able to have an impact on someone's life that in 3 generations, when that child is born, their future is going to look amazing because of the work that I'm now able to do today. So that's what's all become
That's special,
about.
isn't it?
It's very special. And K-Man, you have that legacy as well. Like the amount of people that you've impacted, we're now out there impacting more people, and and it will flow through. And I just think that's a beautiful thing. Absolutely beautiful.
I guess it's a great saying of, you build something that will outlive your life.
Mm.
It's leave something behind. It's not what you get from the world, it's what you leave behind in the world.
Absolutely.
And you certainly are doing that. Very, very exciting. So, on a personal note, you've been in a place where you were overweight, you were depressed and suicidal. And as you know, mental health in this day and age is quite a significant thing. And now you are where you are now. Do you ever get rid of that depression, or is that something that you always have to keep fighting against? Is that something that is gone completely, or is it something where it's in the back of your head, you've got to keep this little hangry monster, depressed little hangry suicidal monster on bay? And I'm generally asking because I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
But I know it's a big thing in society now.
For me, mine was very related to hormones.
Yeah.
And with the depression obviously came anxiety. I was able to break through the depression. That I definitely felt like I could let go of depression and leave it behind me. Anxiety was a lot harder.
Yeah.
That took a lot longer to be able to sleep at night without thinking that the world was going to crash down. Or even to be able to hop on a train without believing that my child will be on the other side and they'll get whisked away from me. Like, anxiety is a crippling thing.
So is that anxiety something which is attached to a thing or everything? Like,
Everything. I think it's very individual though. Yeah, to me it was all about my kids, and it came down to powerlessness in the end. And it was just this fear of powerlessness that I had. And I suppose to answer your question, if depression was ever going to come back into my life again, or if anxiety was going to, it would be in a moment when I felt powerless.
So at the moment, how do you feel?
Oh, I feel powerful. Very strong.
Keep that in the butt.
Yeah, it's not a worry at all.
So for those people who want to become powerful, what do you suggest them to do to become that powerful, independent, strong, courageous businesswoman that you've become?
Wow, it's a really individual thing. I suppose when you're facing the fear, like a girl I worked with the other day, she had some anger things that she had to come work through, and I was like, you've got to do the anger exercise. And she's like, oh, but when I get close, I get so scared. Push through the fear. When it's scary and when your heart's racing and the adrenaline's there, that the magic's going to be on. You've got to push through, break down the barriers, and you've got to be really honest and raw with yourself. If you can't be honest and real with yourself, you're never ever going to overcome those things. it's about doing the hard work, and you can never expect that of someone else if you're not going to do it yourself.
True. So talking to people watching, millions of people in the year 2055 might be. Who knows?
Who knows if they're even going to watch it then? It might just be like...
What I do know is people will watch it because this is really good stuff.
Oh, thank you.
This is relative stuff to life. And it's always a great journey when you see people overcome. And we all have our own battles. You overcome certain obstacles, and sometimes, you know, to get courage, it's good to see other people do it and say, if they can do it, so can I. I was talking to one of my students yesterday, Sheena, who travels the world as a professional bodybuilder, and she's like you. Everyone told her she can't do it. And you know, at the time, she was a lawyer, a successful one, but a very miserable one. And she went against everybody's advice. Like yourself, did the Max program, became a trainer. Now she travels. She's an online business. And she says she earns 4 times more now than she was as a lawyer, travelling the world as a professional bodybuilder. So, a bikini competitor. So, but I really respect that. You know, someone who chases their passion, overcomes those hurdles, and doesn't listen to, as Arnie would say, the naysayers, pushbackers, is a very courageous thing to do. You know, to chase your dream. So, there are people watching who would love to go and chase their dream, but there's something stopping them. Self-belief, depression, pushbacks, naysayers, circle of influence. What advice would you give to them if they're watching now and they're thinking about, you know, I'm in a position where I'm not really happy, I know what I want, but there's something stopping me from chasing it. What would you advice you give to them?
I'd say think about the little people in your life, whether they're your own kids, your nieces and nephews, friends, kids, or something like that. If you could look at that tiny little person, say they're like 2 or 4 years old, often we want them to live the life of their dreams, and you want them to fulfill every desire that they have. You want them to have all the experiences that they possibly could that will leave them feeling confident and empowered and strong, and that when they're on their deathbed, they're going to know that they've left the world in a better place. They have no more right to that than you do. You have absolutely every right to that. And if you can't think of a little 2 or a 4-year-old that is in your life that you love and care about, then get out a photo of yourself at that age. Because that little 2 or 4-year-old within you that had dreams and desires and was fearless and was strong and climbed trees and said they were going to be an astronaut and all those amazing things, still within you. The only thing that's stopping you now is fear. And you can break past that fear because you did when you were little. You learned how to walk, you learned how to talk, you learned how to go to school by yourself every day. You learned how to do all these different things. You learned how to move out of home. You can, whatever it is that's burning within you right now that you're too scared to take a hold of, I suppose, just step back into 4-year-old you. Because 4-year-old you was fearless, and you can be too.
Wow.
That's what I would say.
That's gold.
It is gold. That's what I had to do.
Well, that reminds me of a saying, and I don't have kids, so I'm very unqualified to say this, but it's not what you do for your kids, it's who you become for your kids is the most important. Because kids tend to watch.
They do.
You know, they watch what their role models do, and they copy. They don't listen. They just copy. When I was a kid, I used to copy my martial art instructors. I used to copy my dad. I copied my Bruce Lee and my heroes. I just copied them. I didn't listen to them. I had no idea what they said. But I always watched how they behaved and what they did. There's some great wise words of wisdom for those people who are something's anchoring them, whether it be internal or whether it be external. You've got to break those anchors, cut the chain. Say stuff on and do it anyway.
Yeah, just do it anyway.
Feel the fear
thing
of
to
doing it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, you have any lasting words you'd like to share with our audience?
I think what we touched on before about look at the worst case scenario and can you live with it?
Yeah.
Like the worst case scenario is often not nearly as bad as what we create it to be in your head.
You don't die.
So, no, exactly. You don't die. And at the end of the day, money's just money. People are always going to love you and look after you and help you out if you really desperately need it. But if you don't take the chance, you're always going to wonder, could I have done this or could I have done that? And the amount of lessons you're going to learn along the way by giving it a go are going to be worth so much more than you ever could have put into any monetary value anyway. So look at worst case scenario. I can guarantee you can live with it and just give it a go anyway.
Fantastic. Golden. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing.
No worries.
It's awesome. And if people want to contact you, what's the best way to contact you?
Through Empowered for Life.
You're Bad for Life, and that's you can find that on Facebook.
Oh, website.
A website?
Yes. Yeah.
And you're also on Facebook?
Yes, all over Facebook.
All over Facebook, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can contact Hayley if you ever want any advice or words of wisdom or a bit of encouragement. But I think this whole session has been very encouraging. I just want to go out there and break some more chains. Thank you, Hayley, and we'll see you when you complete your dreams.